You're watching the News Channel 15 Highlight Zone with Glenn Marini and Ross Kinsey.
It's a big game.
We're waiting on it all week. We're hungry. There's just a lot of excitement for this game. It's a championship week.
Our goal was to bring home that bell, and that's what we're trying to do this week.
Our fate's in our own hands, and that's the way we want it.
10 years. That's a long time for Lures football.
We playing against a team with just as many athletes as us, and they're going to be coming in and wanting to win too, you know, so it's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a real battle.
It is week 7 of the high school football season, and in Vegas, 7 is a lucky number. But always remember, what happens in the highlight zone stays in the highlight zone.
Or we put it on Wayne.com, something like that. We've got a full house of great games. Carroll and Homestead, both undefeated in the NHC. They go head-to-head in the ACAC. Leo and Garrett, both unbeaten. Would that stay that way and set up a huge matchup for Friday?
Good question, but first, it's all about first place in the SAC as Northside sitting atop the league at 4-0 in conference play. Lures right behind it, 4-1. Redskins haven't won conference in 20 years. Knights haven't done it in 10. Tonight would certainly go a long way in determining who gets to ring that SAC victory bell. Lures at Northside for Chambers Field is where we're going in your highlight zone game of the week. Same place. Northside snapped Dwanger's 38-game winning streak in conference back in week 3. Maybe some Chambers Field magic. Well, in the first quarter, opening drive, in fact, for Northside, C.J. Jackson to Carrington Eaton. That's a pretty good combo. He goes 33 yards for the score. 7 zip skins just like that. But Lures responding. James Kanapke to Jalen Smith. James Kanapke came in with 59 career touchdown passes. Tops in the SAC. Here's number 60. Mr. Smith in to make it 7-7 in the first. Ryan Hall not happy about that. He wouldn't like this either. Jalen Smith, he's got an offer from Tennessee, Ohio State, Notre Dame. He's only a junior, folks. It's an 18-yard touchdown, 14-7, Lures on top. Second quarter, more from the Lures offense. In the air, it's Kanapke connecting to Michael Rogers, and he would scoot the junior with a 51-yard score to make it 21-7 Lures. Now, they like that combination, Kanapke to Rogers. Why don't they try it again? How about Kanapke here? Early in the third quarter to Rogers. That makes it 28-7 Knights, but Northside would be hanging around at least for a little while longer. Anthony Lanier, watch the truck on this when he finds the linebacker right there and runs right over him for a 33-yard touchdown, 28-14. Northside still in this one in the third. But Lures would finish it off. Montez Brooks takes it in for a touchdown early in the fourth, and Lures puts up 56 against Northside. 56-28, your final. Lures now in control of the SAC.
All week, I think it was just coming together as a team, and, you know, just executing in practice, and I think we beat them in practice this week. We had 4 good days of practice.
We just been practicing all week real hard in the rain, and they just been telling us Northside got the best D, so we just been working real hard and paid off.
It's not the first time we've played in this kind of a game, so, you know, our kids are seasoned, they're veteran. That's a pretty good Northside football team, but we were ready to go.
Northside gets Southside next week in the totem pole game. Lures plays down in Indy at Brebeuf.
Well, speaking of SAC teams, in Indy, Dwanger's Chittard tonight. Saints ranked 8th in 4A. Chittard number 1 in 3A, and the Saints would show up in this one. Mike Fiacable to Evan Feichter as Dwanger grabs a 7-zip lead in the second quarter. The Saints' very next offensive play. How about Fiacable looking for A.J. Hauk? He hauls it in. He's going to break 3. 60-yard touchdown. Check this out. Saints pick up a nice big win tonight. 24-14 the final.
Good win for Bishop Dwenger. Now at Wayne, Generals cleared to play in the postseason by the IHSAA earlier this week. And they couple that with their first win of the season. They were taking on Southside, and, well, Donovan Clark says simply no. He finds Aaron Thomas. Thomas breaking tackles, goes 90 yards for a touchdown, and it's 6-zip. Robert Brown didn't like that. He wouldn't like this. Jalen Thomas kind of slipped there in the mud. Tim Gaines picks it off. A nice return here. Southside would eventually score on the next play to make it 14-zip. Clark, tired of throwing it, decides to use the legs. Good decision from DC. He goes in for the touch. 21-0 at that point, and then we go to the second quarter where you're going to see Tim Gaines from a yard out make it 28-0, and Southside a big win at Wayne, 47-7.
Let's go to Spuller Stadium. Northrop looking for its 3rd straight win. The Bruins hosting Concordia. Pick it up in the 3rd. Concordia up 7-zip, but Dietrich Wilson takes the handoff, rumbles 26 yards to the end zone. PAT no good. Cadets up 7-6. And we're showing some love for the kickers tonight. Chris Jones boots a 36-yarder as the Bruins take a 9-7 lead in the third. More from the Bruins offense. Check out this. Colin Brockhouse goes off the hand of Trevon Wilson, but hauled in by Marcusson Williams. Jones would boot another field goal. Bruins were up 12-7, and Jarrell Holman seals it basically with the INT there. Northrop wins again, 12-7 the final.
You want to see kickers, you want to watch this. Moving over to the NHC, Homestead has been dominant over the last few years. Spartans have won a share of 4 straight conference titles. Also came into the night winners of 9 straight against their rival Carroll. But this a much different Chargers team than we've seen in recent years. Both the Chargers and Spartans 4-0 in conference, and we would pick it up in the first. Zach Terrell. Fantastic season so far. A 1-yard touchdown makes it 7-zip Homestead. And then in the second quarter, how about some kicking action? Cody Schweitzer, one of the best in the area, boots this one in from 25 yards out to make it 7-3. Now Terrell, the one thing you can't do is give him time. Watch how much time he's got to find Isaac Griffith right across the middle. 40 yards later, he's in the end zone, and the Homestead offense rolling at 14-3. But this is the play you got to see. Late second. Yeah, they're on the 39, which means this is a 56-yard field goal. Nolan McMahon, are you kidding? They had a couple yards left on the end. A school record 56-yard field goal, and when guys are booting 56-yard field goals, you're probably not going to win. As Homestead beats Carroll by a 31-10 mark.
Carroll was undefeated, so they're obviously our toughest opponent so far. So it was good to have a good challenge, and this is the first game since Huntington that we've played the full game.
We feel like if we continue to improve and get to the point where we're pretty competitive when we hit the sectionals, that we'll be happy, and that's our goal. Is just to constantly improve, and I think we're getting there.
56 yards.
56
I gotta
yards.
say it again. Homestead at Norwell next week. Carroll hosts Columbia City.
How about New Haven coming into the night? Just a game off the NHC lead. The Bulldogs at Belmont, and the Braves, well, they're scoring early in this one. Lance Schifferly, that's kind of a redirection, counter, whatever you want to call it. Just call it a Braves touchdown. 7-zip that point. But back comes New Haven. Big hit right there. Elliot Nelson on Cody Walters in New Haven. Then they would decide, let's hand the ball off to Mr. Tavon Hurst. He led the state in rushing last year. He's still pretty good this year. 50-yard touchdown. New Haven wins this one, 19-13 the final.
Got a nice matchup over in Columbia City. East Noble taking on the host Eagles, both 2-2 in conference play. Randy Hutton saying, gotta watch this. They didn't watch enough. Third quarter, 7-all. East Noble's Michael Spears to Nick Myers down the sideline for a 38-yard touchdown. Spears had a couple TD passes. 14-7 Knights at that point. Third quarter, ensuing drive for Columbia City. That's a first down for the Eagles, but in the fourth, it would be 4th and 2. Hutchins says, let's run a 14, and apparently 14 equals 6 or 7 when you count the extra point. That was on 4th and 2. Connor Slavich to Jacob Johnson, 14 all, but East Noble gets a last-second field goal from Tyler Householder. It was 21 yards as East Noble edges Columbia City 17-14.
That's 4 references to kickers in one show.
We love kickers.
Last game in the NHC, Norwell and DeKalb, both teams looking for win number 1. How about Austin Hossinger? He puts it right up the middle, picks up some nice yards for the Barons. 2 plays later, how about Carter Stafford? Fumbles picked up by Norwell right here. That's Pierston Harnish. As the Knights were looking to capitalize on that, they could not, but DeKalb on their next offensive possession, Stafford takes it in as the Barons snap a 17-game losing streak, 14-zip the final.
Well, we are only halfway through the zone, and some of the biggest games are yet to come.
Busco looking to stay undefeated. Leo and Garrett looking to do the same in a huge game in the TRC. Those games and more coming up next in the Highlight Zone.